Alright, welcome back everyone dito sa latest interface. Di ba? Yung parang Gogeta.
In person na.
In person
Hindi na online.
And this was totally on, parang hindi to planned. Yung parang black and white na vibes natin dyan. Brother, good to have you here. Really pleasure to see you again in person as always.
And finally, we get to do this discussion live in person. Kasi iba pa rin yung interaction in person compared sa online where nagpo-post tayo, tapos paminsan nag-aantayan tayo o kaya may lag dahil sa internet. Ngayon, it's live, it's going to be flowing, and there's going to be so much we're going to be talking about.
But you know, I mean, if we were to believe the Elon Musk, baka this is all simulation. So who knows? Baka this is still a Zoom call in a different world. But today, marami tayong pag-usapan, mga interesting topic. 3-letter S, no? So una-una, balikan natin si Sara Duterte. I was just informed kanina lang, just before going live here, that there's some internal surveys suggesting that tumataas na po yung suporta for impeachment of Sara Duterte.
Oh.
And there's more and more pressure on the Senate to do something about it. So pag-usapan natin yon. And then of course, obviously we'll have to talk about the Senate and Senate race.
Yep.
Hindi lang yung microblading ni Chiz Escudero. There's still a debate whether you need to do the maintenance every 3 months, 6 months. See you in June. Diba? Senate race is getting tight, interesting. Octa survey is out. Also, Pulse Asia survey is out. And then, brother, of course, this is really why we're really here. Ito, dinala ko tong Siargao shells ko dito. Pag-usapan natin, medyo man talk. What is a kind of a sexy, healthy lifestyle for a young man in the 21st century? So parang kuya talks tayo. Like if ang audience po natin are people like Gen Z, right?
Yep.
Or a little bit younger millennials, like ano yung advice natin sa kanila? Kumbaga, paano maging hindi si Philmar? or actually, how to be Philmar, hindi naman. No. We're in the good side.
Yeah, pero
Team Andy tayo, Team Andy. Yeah.
alam mo, I'm just so glad you mentioned Kuya Talks, hindi
Yes.
Tito Talks eh.
No, Kuya Talks. I mean, but actually, the reason why hindi Tito Talks is because, especially in your case, you have been able to keep yourself very young and fit and healthy. I mean, you're more even fit and healthy than me in terms of like. So we want to talk about that. So in short, gusto natin sana ganito. And next time, pag we reverse the role, let's do more crypto. And I want to also interview you for another series I want to launch is the Change Makers kind of goodies. But this one is hopefully also part of a bigger set of discussion I want to start. Ang tawag po natin dyan is like Pilipinas 360. Right?
Yep.
Like talagang everything about Philippines. Governance, economics, politics, tourism, and also ito, mga bro talks. So first, bro, let's talk about the Sara impeachment issue. So as I mentioned, are you surprised that that there's growing support? So the official last version we had was 41% want Sara to be impeached. Just over 30% are opposed. Pero may mga 1/3 sa ating mga kababayan na siguro medyo in the air pa at hindi sigurado for different reasons. Are you surprised that the direction of the wind is actually more and more Filipino? At the very least, want the impeachment trial to move forward.
You know, I'm not surprised kasi the narrative talaga that you see on social media will dictate how Filipinos think. And remember, unfortunately, human nature dictates that we have this mob mentality. Herd mentality, sheep mentality, unfortunately. So people will follow where the majority, or at least the seeming majority, will move towards. And the opinion online seems to shift against Sara Duterte and move towards the impeachment. Kaya sobrang importante what the DDS trolls are doing to try to change the narrative away from the impeachment and to use the logical fallacy of lahat naman sila corrupt. Therefore, bakit si Sara ini-impeach? Which doesn't make sense. Diba? Kasi you impeach somebody, it doesn't matter kung corrupt yung iba or hindi. The fact is, may nahuli tayong corrupt, kailangan ma-impeach regardless of what the others are doing. So, yun yung ginagawa ng mga trolls to try to shift the narrative. But the beauty is, hindi sila successful dahil karamihan sa ating mga kababayan ngayon ay mas may alam na mas gising na, kumbaga.
Namulat na.
O kaya alam nila, DDS troll yan, bayad yan, nagkakalat yan ng fake news, hindi naman totoong ganyan. Hindi na ako maniniwala dyan. At may bardagulan na nangyari pag may mga ganung posts.
Parang may Hey Darian at Chelsea.
Yun, no? Ayan, you get that, di ba?
Yeah, I love it. But going back to this, Chris, let's not forget, third monthsary na po ng Mary Grace Piatos. Doon sa mga nag-miss ng mga sayaw natin ng mga...
Grabe, ganun katagal na pala. No? Lumampas na 3 taon na. No?
Ang kasi
Alam mo, 3 buwan.
Parang before pa yung Maris Rascal ba yan? Yung
Yes.
So this is so November, October pa, right? So medyo 3rd, 4th month anniversary. And of course, malapit ng Valentine's Day. So I just want to remind people, maybe you want to give a Mary Grace treatment on your Valentine's Day or a free piatos. But going back on a more serious note, bro, let's be honest, we have been going back and forth on this.
Yes.
The other thing that the internal surveys are showing, and we'll discuss also that more when we talk about the Senate race, is although nagsishrink yung support base ng DDS, medyo nagko-consolidate din siya in a sense that parang threatened na yung base nila and all of
Right.
that. And at the same time, it looks like still we don't have a solid majority, super majority going for this for the impeachment. Dahil unfortunately, and probably I'll be less invited to certain parties that I notice you get invited to, but it's okay with me. Yung mga ibang kaibigan natin na ang hilig, this is the worst budget ever. Resign all. Tapos yung iba, parang tuwan-tuwa na mag-invite ng mga DDS trolls ngayon na hindi na relevant. My point is, siguro nag-contribute din yung medyo sabog yung genuine opposition pagdating sa messaging and all lang. Parang all over. Kasi yung sinasabi mo yung false moral equivalence.
Yes.
Na kung may issue ka GIJA, yung corrupt din pala sila. Di okay lang yung Marie Grace Piatos. No. The two are very different and dito parang may ebidensya ka na may hearing ka na
Yung kabila naman sa GAA kasi wala namang ebidensya pa.
And it's still a debate. It's a discussion.
Yes, and not just that, not just that. Yung nagkakalat nun, if you saw it on social media, we're saying, ay, allegedly, yun na nabalitaan ko. And he was also afraid to categorically state na totoo nga na may nabig, especially not just with the GAA, pinag-usapan pala with that, binayaran daw yung mga kongresista ng 150 million pesos. Pero nung sinabing, alam mo ba yan for sure? Nag-backtrack, sabi niya, allegedly, hindi ako sigurado.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that really intrigues me is they will say an opinion and...
Or fake news. I mean, disinformation.
Misinformation. Sige, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Say misinformation. But the idea is just to plant that seed in your head. Whether it's true or not, basta ma-plant lang yun, good enough. Now with the GAA, that's interesting na nagsampa ng kaso sina Marcoleta, sina Topacio. And interesting for me, by the way, na Topacio, no, seems to always be on the side of the people that are medyo questionable. The Chinese, di ba, mga pogos, lahat ng mga nasasampahan ng kaso na parang alanganin. Si Topacio palagi yung lawyer. Bakit? Makakakilala ba lahat sila?
Baka...
Ano yung connection?
Baka may talagang siya. Kumbaga, sa dating may market, di ba?
Oo.
Ito yung market.
Isa lang ang bugaw. Baka isa lang ang bugaw. Diba?
I'm just saying, may market siya. So
pero yun yung sinasabi ko, Richard, na yung narrative nila, sinusubukan nilang isali yung GAA dito sa nangyari kay Sara saying na pareho daw to. Tama yung sinabi mo. Malaki yung pinagkakaiba ng dalawa kasi with Sara, it was blatantly obvious that there was a lot of discrepancies, anomalies, and grave abuse. Outright bastusan na binastos yung ating batas, binastos yung proseso na talagang sinampal sa ating mukha na gagawin ko to at wala kayong magagawa. Ganun yung dating Versus the GAA, at this point, everything is still, at this point, marites. Hindi naman natin talaga alam what really happened And there's nagsasampa ng kaso just for the sake of filing a case. Let's see how it goes. They have the right to do it. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Go ahead.
If they can prove na totoong may nangyaring ganun sa GAA and labag yun sa batas, by all means, then let the Supreme Court rule on it properly.
And we'll discuss it here, dito sa ating discussion, if there's really something legit. So, there's a big difference between speculative and semantic on one hand, and caught red-handed. Mary Grace Piatos on the other hand. That's false equivalence.
So yeah, exactly. Okay. So to make it simple for everyone watching, parang ganito yan Nakita ko si Richard nagnakaw ng pera galing sa wallet ko, 'di ba? Isipin mo 'yon. Tapos sasabihin ni Richard pero ikaw Chris sa balitaan ko na kumukupit ka rin do sa sa kusina ng mga pagkain. Wait a minute. That was nabalitaan mo versus ako nakita ko mismo. So that's what we're talking about. Just because I caught Richard, he cannot throw that at
Allegedly.
me. Allegedly. Pero yun yung nakakatawa. Na pag marinig mo yung mga DDS trolls,
yung ganun
so yun ang sasabihin nila. Pero you're like, wait a minute. So if we're gonna throw that exact same argument that you're saying, then that means you must admit that Sara did steal.
Can I do it in the Cynthia Villar way? Yung parang pag kinikita, bakit? Kaya nga eh! Ganun
Ikaw rin eh. Kaya
bakit? Ikaw nga eh! Nahuli nga kita ko! Parang ganon yung style ng mga DDS na every time nabubuking sila. Meron silang ganon. Bakit? Ikaw nga, yung whataboutism.
Yes.
Yung whataboutism,
Yeah, well, I think that's a common thing with anyone that has been caught red-handed. Di ba? Wala ka na kasing mabibigay na argumento o para idepensahan yung sarili mo at yung action mo. Alam mong mali eh. Kaya gagawin mo, ibabato mo na lang sa kasama.
Well, hindi ko sure. Tignan natin ulit yung Instagram nila Philmar at saka... Wait lang, mamaya natin puntahan si Philmar at Siargao. No, because bro, when I was in Siargao last year, yung mga kaibigan namin sumali dun sa isang racing event. It was a marathon event. Yung babae na yan ay kasama dun at kinaren niya yung mga kasama ko.
Kinaren niya yung mga kasama mo.
So, the fact na yung may allegations, again, allegedly, na inagaw niya si Philmar kaya parang hindi siya malayo dun sa coordinates of her personality and temperament. Kasi sobrang Karen daw yung babaeng yan. Sobrang, anyway, bago tayo ma-cyber life dyan, balik tayo dito. The other day, I tweeted, maagang gising ko, fresh ako sa ang dami kong inaway ko yung Gawad Lasaliana kasi bakit fourth time na naman na best host na naman daw si Tony Talk. Sana naman may standard tayo. But the other one na sabi ko, yung hypocrisy na if the DDS ay galit sa GAA, bakit yung Kongreso lang ina-attack, hindi yung Senado? Because this is bicameral. Alam mo yung palusot nila. But in the Constitution, when you say Congress, the Congress is both the House of Representatives and like, parang malamang, I'm talking about the common usage of the term of Congress.
Right.
So they wanted to make palusot na naman na ganon. But exactly, have they, because we're going to the Senate now, di ba?
Yes.
Because, aminin natin, attack na attack sila sa Kongreso dahil, of course, the Speaker of the House has been taking on Sara Duterte. More than 2/3, more than 70%.
Yep.
This is the highest any impeachment, right?
Not just that, remember, na 215 already signed and submitted na. And yet,
May humahabol.
naghabol pa yung iba up to 243 at the last count. And they had to tell people, tama na. So, here's a question. When that allegation happened na bayad daw itong mga kongresista, hey, you know what? That could be true. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this.
Prove it.
Kung ikaw, kongresista ka, you don't have to sign you got the more than 1/3 needed signatures.
Why would you?
Why would you and put your name on the line knowing that the Duterte still have power that you could get, you could probably not be voted for the next Congress by signing it, and yet they still signed it.
And tapos na yung GAA. So kung may bayaran na, tapos na yan. So you could just say, ay sorry, kailangan ko mag-microblading. Di ba? Yung mga no, I'm just saying like, it tells you na siguro na sense din ng mga congressman na yan na there's a palpable support na rin for the impeachment.
Yeah.
Siguro na sense din ng mga different constituency. But then again, just to be fair, we had Congressman Percy Sendanya who told us on our show Deep Dive na may mga congressman na in fairness naman, they took really risks kasi medyo malakas yung DDS support and some religious groups that I think we know about, yung mga mahilig mag-rally. So in fairness, some of them really took a risk. So maybe some congressmen deserve some recognition, credit for the risk they're taking. Kasi even if totoo yung marites ng yung mga DDS bloggers dyan na binayaran mga yan, what is 150 million if you're gonna lose access to billions and billions?
Yes.
You gotta say, like, even by their logic, it doesn't make sense.
And
it was risky.
And not just that, on top of that, ang pinaka nakakapagtaka sa argumento na binibigay ng mga DDS trolls, ngayon kung hindi matalas yung pag-iisip, mabubudol ka talaga ng mga ganitong argumento eh. To say na, tignan mo, they're going to get this pang-ayuda or to pay off their constituents for elections. Sige, let's use that analogy. Wait, that same analogy applies to Sara. Because Sara does that as well. Everyone does that. So when you say that, the very person you support has also done that in worse ways than what you're talking about. We're not talking just hundreds of millions.
Correct.
We're talking billions in the DepEd. Maraming ginawa. At saka siya mismo, nag-aayuda system siya. So everyone is doing it eh. And unfortunately, with Sara, nakikita mo nga, it was shown that we don't know if really it even went to somebody or it went to somebody's pocket internally and not to the real beneficiary of that ayuda. So that ayuda system applies to everyone. Kaya ang hirap mambato ng ganyang aligasyon.
Kahit anong salami slicing mo, mahirap talaga i-justify yung side ng caught red-handed.
Yes.
Basically yun. Kaya lumalaki yung support for impeachment. I'm just trying to put things together here, right?
Yes, pero the thing is kaya nakakatawa pag narinig mo yung mga argumento ng mga DDS supporters kasi nga dito mo nakikita ang tataba ng utak nila.
Right.
I mean, I give them that credit. Sobrang galing nila mag-spin ng isang kwento. Maghahanap talaga ng dahilan na talagang pati ako parang wow, ang hirap ng logic na yun. Pero sige, okay. Sakit sa bangs. Sakit, wala man lang akong bangs.
Parallel universe, medyo alternate. No, but they perfected that art. And I'll tell you on that. Actually, studies show that some of these people may have got training in Russia and even China.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there's no one better than Russian troll. The Russian troll, maybe Macedonian troll, they're really good brothers. Because I've had co-lectures with people from EU, and we were comparing notes. And I used to be based in National Cheng Chi University in Taiwan. So nakausap ko yung Taiwanese leaders, President Tsai, among others. And they were telling me how sophisticated the troll operations are becoming. And that China is learning from Russia. And if the allegations are true that some of these trolls that we're talking about may have had exposure to to Beijing or Moscow training, then actually you shouldn't be surprised, bro. Na medyo parang, sometimes even if it logically doesn't make sense, yung framing, yung cadence, yung timing, at saka yung the Gables principle, diba? Kung paulit-ulit mo isang kasinungalingan, it becomes a kind of a self-evident truth, unfortunately. Yeah.
And what they're really good at is being able to create new narratives.
Correct.
So, I mean, honestly, I give it to the Dutertes for that. Na ang galing nila na meron tayong pinag-uusapan isang topic and then babato yan ng some random statement. Sara did it just recently. God saved the Philippines. And then suddenly, that was trending on Twitter, di ba? Yung kaya nilang, ito pag-usapan natin. Tapos yung, grabe, kawawa ang Pilipinas, naghihirap tayo ngayon. Gas-gas na yun eh. The Philippines is not doing worse. Statistically, we're doing better. Yet, they keep saying, kawawa ang Pilipinas, tignan mo, ang dami naghihirap. By making that statement, they make it sound like it's true. Without having to provide any
Pero
data
more
to show.
kaibigan natin yung ganyan line eh. I think more the line of the other side is, kawawang Pilipinas kung impeach natin si Sara, magkakagulo ang bansa, kawawa naman tayo, But actually, sila yung distraction. So actually, doon yung galing yung, I think the context of Senator Senator Bato, yung sinabi niya sapakin ko yung si Percy.
Yeah.
Kasi sabi ni Percy, God save the Philippines from the Duterte. Kumbaga, parang let me finish that statement. May term kami sa Ilocana, again, si Singpet meaning, kunyari, pabait-bait si Sara, di ba? Hindi na siya kasama. Zoom call na naman. Sabi ko, wait lang, kung 248 ang nag-sign, ang dami niyang mumurahin. Siguro, again, si Singpet na lang siya, nagpakabait na lang siya. No, but going back to this, look at it. Then Bato got the headlines. Yep. Magaling silang lahat mag-grab ng headlines eh.
Yep.
They're like media mileage monsters, media mileage masters.
Alam mo, that's why ako, I don't react to everything I see online. Especially yung mga ganong, I find them trivial. I don't want to amplify their message. I like to stick to the issue. Kaya kahit nakakita ko ng mga ganyang mga statements, hindi ako magko-comment. Kasi pag nag-comment ka, you're amplifying their message. Then you're also getting diverted from the real topic or the real issue at hand. And not just that, then you just become another, yun na nga, mindless, parang aso nga eh, na kahit na ano nalang iba to mong stimulus, tatahol.
Yeah.
O dito, dito.
Pavlovian dog. Yeah.
Diba? Yun yung ina-avoid natin na magre-react ka na lang sa lahat ng ibabatong issue. Then you become exactly that. You're just a reactive voice rather than an actual thinking intellectual opinion.
But that's where I slightly differ from you. Slightly in the sense that, of course, dapat hindi patulan ng mga kachipangan at mga kaiwanan. But the reality of our information ecosystem is that the algorithms and even mainstream media is clickbait. So, facing that reality, for me, the least I can do is papatulan ko yung topic and then I'll twist it in a certain direction.
Right.
So for instance, Bato is gonna get the mileage anyway. So
Right.
I'm just gonna turn it against him and joke about it. Kasi, unfortunately, ito na yung information ecosystem natin, bro. I mean, automatically clickbait na yan, you will see all major newspapers, channels already quoting it. And then, nag-respond din si Percy. And on my part, for instance, on this specific issue, solidarity rin, expression of solidarity.
Yes.
Sabi ko, di bugbugan na tayo, let's go na. Di ba? Parang gano'n. So I completely agree with you in principle, except this is not 2020, this is not 2010, this is 2025, whereby the information system is even more clickbaitish and all of that. But then again, from a mental health standpoint, I completely agree with you. Minsan, wala nang pakialam, just go on with your life. I get that. Yeah.
But I want to add that I do not discourage people from countering mga
False
misinformation and false narratives. And they should be called out. So I encourage all netizens to call that out, to comment on that post, so that when people read that post, makikita nila that there are a lot of people that are disagreeing with whatever narrative they're trying to, propagate to the people. Yun yun. So in that sense, I'm not saying don't react. I'm saying that in my case, I would prefer not to amplify it. But it's good that people do.
Right.
Yun na. So I think
You can spell it out. Thank you to Richard Haydarian for
Yeah. So parang
being a
ikaw na yung
hero.
bahala doon. No? Sa'yo na yan. Ako, okay na ako.
It's
Diba?
okay. You
Thank
can say
God
that.
Richard did it para I don't have to deal
Thank
with
you
this
very
crap.
much,
oh.
Richard Haydarian, the greatest
Buti.
guy, the amazing guy.
Ikaw buti nagbabardagulan ka ako. My God. Lampas na ako
It's
dyan.
your mental health. No. That's why I have strictly Sabbath, diba? Like, I have one day of complete, like, no duty or whatever, and then my Fridays are kind of half Sabbath. So I have my own almost religious spiritual breaks. So meron din akong side na ganon for some friends who know me better. Going back to this, brother, let's talk about the... by the way, nag-apologize si Bato. So maybe nag-work yung pag-pressure namin sa kanya. So
You know what? Okay.
fairness.
So I'll give it to Bato. At least naman nagkaroon
Hey,
siya
and
ng-
give it to us for pressuring him
sure.
to make him apologize.
Sure.
Because I'm the greatest.
Honestly, that surprised me because,
Never nag-apologize mga
Never. So parang good for him na nag-apologize siya. So and Percy naman in his
Defense, yeah.
defense, he wasn't really defense, but in
Credit.
in for him, at least kudos to him that parang okay na rin siya na sige na. Man, like this is such a Duterte brand, yung pag wala ka na masagot, insulto na lang, violence is so typical. And
Toxic.
even Duterte supporters are like that. They're very violent, tapos panay insulto. You've seen that, di ba?
Yeah.
Pag sila yung
Oh, yeah,
hindi
absolutely.
nag-agree, panay. Pwede ba magbura dito?
No, hindi.
Hindi, sige, yun na. Yeah, yung PI, yung gago ka, ganun na lang palagi. I'm like,
Sabi nga ni Basta, di ba? Pag siyang defense secretary, papatayin niya lahat ng mga Ilocanos. Parang, wait.
alam mo,
Wait
pero
lang.
nakakatakot doon.
Pero nakakatakot yan.
He actually means it. They're very capable of that. And that's what I'm saying, na sana naman tayong mga Pilipino, huwag tayong masanay sa mga ganito at huwag natin papayagan itong ganitong ugali. Na pag hindi mo na kaya makipagdebate, manginsulto ka na lang o kaya violence. So, tara suntukan na lang, Google Pay na lang kita, papatayin kita, ganun na lang lagi. Hindi pwedeng ma-normalize yung ganyang usapan. Mga kababayan natin, we are better than this.
Yeah.
Okay? So please lang, wag na tayong pumayag na magpabudol sa mga ganitong klaseng mga tao.
Right.
Hindi tayo ganun. Ano ba tayo? We're not lower forms of, animals. We are the higher creatures that have a thinking capacity. Mag-isip-isip naman tayo. Gamitin natin to. Kaya nga andito yan eh.
Kaya nga, that's my thing with demagogues in general. I mean, you can go back to works of Socrates and Plato. They appeal to the darkest instinct of humanity. They weaponize that, 'di ba? Yung sense of vengeance, grievance, yung kabastusan, yung toxic masculinity, all of that nonsense. Now, let's talk about Senate. What is your read of, ano bang latest kay Chiz Escudero?
Pare, did you know that photo that you posted with Chiz with the
Microblading.
yeah. I mean, ano lang napansin ko ba yung hairline niya?
Uy, gumanda hairline niya. Gumanda.
Hindi, there's something na parang hindi ko alam kung tahi ba
Nilalagay
yan
ba yan?
or something. Tapos, pati dito parang, I don't know. I mean, hey, nothing against against any kind of surgery.
I mean,
if you want to get something done, by all means, if it makes you feel
Wala
better,
akong
go
problema.
for it.
Yeah,
Wala
go
akong issue dyan.
Yeah.
It was just, what a bad shot.
Kapansin-pansin lang.
Oo, what a bad shot. Yun lang, parang, uy, my God, Lord, if I were Chiz, hindi ako papayag mapapost yung ganyan picture. Pakitanggal yan. Yun lang, more than anything.
Mas manalo sa akin yung all-white siyang coat na gano'n. Tapos yung parang, no, bro. No, bro, no.
Man,
no,
I would
no,
never,
bro.
I'll tell you this, okay, for me lang grabe, heart really did a number on Chiz pagdating sa mga ganyan.
She's trying her best.
Yeah, but for me, man, I would never get my girl to dress me up like that. I love my girlfriend, but no, okay? We draw the line. May boundaries.
Maybe you can pull it off. No offense. No offense to him, I mean, I'm sure you can probably pull it off, but it takes kasi a certain... No, I'm gonna look bad. It takes a certain coordinates to make that kind of fashion work. Let's just put it that way. I don't want to say anything more. Baka masabing naman nila si Richard ay...
Hindi, parang sinasabi mo, binabagay din yan.
Yeah, exactly.
Ganun lang yun. May ibang look na, parang I'm not gonna be able to pull off a hip-hop rapper look with the low pants.
never know.
Yeah, but di ba? Like, come on, we're not at that age.
Yeah.
Parang grabe naman si Tito, no? Pumipilit pa di ba? Parang gano'n.
Si Bato yata may ganun. May hip-hop siya.
Pero you were saying about the Senate. So, anong
Senate, yeah.
natin? Si Chiz ba pag-usapan natin o yung Senate overall?
His argument is constitutionally debatable. Yung tipong tapos ng session, recess na tayo, mamaya na yan, see you in June kasi hindi ko pwedeng pipilitin yung Senate to vote over this. But the fact that you already had Amy and Robin Hood Padilla and all of these people na pro-Duterte, no offense, openly saying they're gonna fight tooth and nail against this, is that they were actually expecting na magkakaroon ng trial. So it looks like, to me, that the Chiz just said, masyadong late naman siguro. Like, he just found an excuse dun sa timing to just say, ay, wala nang time. Let's just kick the can down the road. Yun ang sense ko Because sa aking palagay, some in the Senate, especially pro-Duterte senators, were prepared to fight it as early as now na. So probably, so Chiz did them favor by not even giving them the stress of that.
Okay, so here's the thing I want you to think about. Baka this is something that people can consider. The Senate now, as it is composed, with the way it's composed, would that be something favorable to convict Sara? Or
Not
is that...
convict, pero trial lang. Just to look at the facts of the case. Kasi magpapadala ng prosecutor, sila Luis
Yes,
will go there. So, hindi makakalusot yung mga palusot in a sense that you have a few solid senators, let's say Riza Ontiveros, and then you have more than solid congresswoman like Luis among others. They're gonna give a hard time to those who want to just gloss over it. So the expectation was, at the minimum, there'll be a trial, but the voting and the final judgment, realistically, let's just leave it for after elections. Pero ang nangyayari kasi ngayon is parang the clock will start from zero again after election, and there's no assurance that the next Senate will be any more amenable than this Senate. Because if anything, people say after this election midterms, baka ang inisip ng ibang senador, their own 2028 plans, nanalo na sila tapos na sila. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a debate about probabilities, whether you can get a better. And then there's another thing I want to discuss this. So Pulse Asia survey came out, Okta survey came out, SWS came out a bit earlier. And I want to discuss it in different directions, right? So generally, pro-admin candidates are doing very well. And people like Camille Villar and Binay, Abby Binay, who were not doing very well in the earlier surveys are coming up.
Yep.
And then you have the usual celebrities, Willie Revillame, the Tulfos are solidifying their position. But Bongo is doing very well.
Yeah, he's number two.
Number two,
number three.
Almost there, almost there. Bato went up.
Bato still in the he may not win.
But the direction last year was actually pababa. So ngayon medyo nagsastabilize siya within the competitive range. So some are arguing, and I was told that there's some internal surveys that argue that actually itong Sara impeachment case is being used very aggressively to say kailangan natin na mapanalo itong mga champions natin because kung wala sila, yari si Sara, tapos tayong lahat, kawawang Mindanao, kawawang Solid South. So they're using the victim card to solidify support around Bongo, around Bato, and the usual suspects.
And because as you said nga, that you're saying that internal surveys are showing that more and more people are in support of the impeachment, di ba? I think what will happen is this midterm elections is going to be a vote on the impeachment or not impeachment. Ganun lang yan eh. So we're gonna find out what the pulse of the people are really.
Yeah.
That if more pro-impeachment Congress representatives win and more pro-impeachment or at least administration-affiliated candidates win,
Right.
then that says that the support for impeachment is a lot stronger. So that's my
So you're
point.
you're more optimistic than me.
Optimistic in what sense?
No, in a sense that baka the next Senate will be much more favorable. That even if they get 2 or 3 pro-Duterte people in, by that time, the public opinion has already moved in a direction that puts enough pressure on these people to do the right thing. And by that time, the idea that Sara is no longer the inevitable successor, that Sara is not any longer invincible. Kasi if there's one thing also I didn't mention is pababa rin yung satisfaction and approval rating ni Sara.
Yes.
Sara is below 50% in Okta. Sara is just plus 21, 22% net approval in Pulse Asia. These are horrendous numbers for Duterte. We're used to like plus 80 net approval for someone named Duterte at the national level. So maybe the argument could be also that you may not get the right composition of senators, but you might get the right composition of public opinion and public pressure so that the malasado senators will move in a certain direction.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at all scenarios here, bro.
Ako lang, I'm more looking at it in this perspective na either way, whichever direction it goes, if we're gonna get that impeachment before the elections or if we get it after, I think either way is okay. If we do it now and then impeach siya before the elections, great. I have the sooner the better. I really want the Dutertes out of Philippine politics. They are such a cancer to our society. Okay?
At Rizal level yung parang...
Oh, hell yeah. Talagang sorry ako, normally, I don't, normally, with politicians, pare-pareho lang yan sa akin eh.
Yeah.
The Dutertes just took it to such a different level that like, I couldn't even try to defend what they do. It was so bad. So even with Marcos, with Pacquiao, I mean, as much as I have my criticisms of all the candidates when they were running,
we can go. Yeah, of course.
I could stomach anybody winning. It was the Dutertes. I was like, wow, this is ibang level. Kaya I say that publicly. So people that are supporting Duterte, intindihin nyo kung ano yung binabanggit ko dito. You have to first be Team Philippines before your Team Green, Team Blue, Team Red, Team Pink. Team Pilipinas muna tayo. Yun lang yun. And if you're looking at it from Team Pilipinas, the Dutertes were the worst for the Philippines. No matter how you flip it up and look it up.
West Philippine Sea, EJ case,
on every issue.
COVID-19 management,
At kahit-
Farmali,
Kahit sabihin mo
confidential
na,
fund.
kasi palagi na
Sorry, I just have to roll it out para wala na silang masabi.
Hindi, pero palaging binabanggit kasi is, pero look at the infrastructure they did. Alam mo, infrastructure
Wala rin masyado,
doesn't
actually.
say much. Because every government will have an infrastructure project. And the reason they have that is so they can spend money. It's money they don't have. Remember that, palaging pinag-uusapan natin
Flood
yung
control.
budget. Yeah, di ba? Maraming ganun eh.
flood control hindi ko yan.
Kaya that's why for me, important na malaman ng tao yan. Ngayon, if the trial does happen after, again, the midterms become some sort of a polling. to find
referendum.
out, referendum of where the people are. And by then, pag nalaman ng mga senador na nanalo, we won because of this issue, then we'll find out how far it's going to take us. And that could really seal the fate. Not just that. Remember, Sara Duterte is also facing mga criminal cases.
Yes.
With the NBI, DOJ, maybe the ombudsman, if the ombudsman acts on it. Pero maraming kaso, administrative and legal and criminal. So that could happen between now and July. So even if the Senate postpones, because Chiz is just, I don't know where his mind's at, hey.
Where his eyebrows?
Yeah, yun lang. And by the way, I'll have to add, remember that Chiz is very close to the Marcoses.
Right.
She's very good friends with Liza Araneta.
Di ba
Marcos.
waiter siya nung...
Yes, so ganun sila ka-close nila ng First Lady.
But I want to say one thing. Theoretically, Chiz will be one of the top candidates to replace Sara if she's impeached. So I want to be just fair to Chiz.
You mean as a vice president?
Yes, because constitutionally, it could be the Speaker of the House or it could be the President of the Senate. So ito.
Either or ba? Akala ko it was Senate
hindi
first.
siya clear. Na, in the US, it's in the Philippine Constitution, medyo may prerogative ang government to appoint either the Speaker or the... But at the very least, he's going to be one of the two top candidates. So now I want to be fair. So sorry, Chiz, for all of the the microblading trash talk. In fairness to him, if I'm Chiz Escudero, I want to make sure that parang walang bahid na conflict of interest, right? So maybe he overdid it. And then at the same time, to be fair to him, to be realistic, I'm sure a part of him still wants to run for the president in 2028. Parang I cannot alienate millions of DDS support base. Even if shrinking yan, 1 million or 2 million votes could make all the difference in a tight race in 2028, which is not impossible. Who knows? 2028 could be a 4-way race, 5-way race, like 1992 election. So, ang sinasabi ko lang dito, bro, is for everything I throw in terms of yung mga, alam mo naman, I mean, I can get mean and all, but I also understand well where Chiz is coming from. But I don't want to play too much into the waiter thing and all. No, but I just want to be fair also to Chiz on that point. And medyo alanganin din kasi si Chiz kasi his rise to the presidency of the Senate was a little bit in the midst of some sort of a chaos. Yung Zubiri thing. And Tito Soto most likely will be back, almost certain, parating number 3 on. So medyo alanganin siya actually. His position is kind of tricky. So maybe a part of him is just saying, let's just hope for the best. But as far as I'm concerned, I want to have plausible deniability and as much distance from anything that could bite me down the road.
Or at least a semblance of neutrality.
Or neutrality.
Diba?
In fairness to the guy. So I want to be fair to Chiz. Now, I want to talk about the other part of the Senate here, brother. Sorry if I'm rushing this conversation kasi medyo late tayo nag-start and ayoko yung mga na-OT lahat ng mga nasa studio. But the other side of the story is not that discouraging. And I had a long conversation on this kahapon. Kiko pasok already sa Magic 12 in SWS. And then Bam and Kiko are just at the margins of the competitive Magic 12. For me, that's a huge thing. Considering from 2016, 2019, 8-0, 2022 talo. Coming back from that, tapos sobrang limited resources sila. You're up against all of these big celebrities. You're up against admin bets. You're up against Dutertes.
And billionaires.
Considering that, in fairness, it's quite amazing that Kiko and Bam actually has quite a decent chance. And for me, I think if Lenny mobilizes whatever residues of the pink movement or re-energizes it completely, it might bring that few million votes that could make a difference. Kasi it's just a few million votes and then pasok na si Bam and obviously, hindi sila nag-ambition to be top 1 to 8. Really, I think they're realistically competing from number 9 to 12. And that one, all you need is statistically around 35 to 45% of the votes. So they can even afford to not win in Mindanao at all. But if they get enough in Luzon, Visayas, and Palawan, they actually can win it. In terms of number 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, 12 candidates ang pwedeng piliin. So ang daming room for quote-unquote mistake for other voters just to get the right voter. So I'm just saying, yun naman yung encouraging story at least so far I've seen. Pero yun nga, kapos pa ng konti, push pa more, Lenny factor more siguro, factor more. I'm asking you because, brother, I got to know about you because I was not a crypto bro. Was because of the very passionate and very sincere interventions you had during the Pink Movement rallies. Can you tell me your take on this issue?
So right now, with regards to Kiko Pangilinan and Bam Aquino, I honestly would love to help them. If they're willing to be interviewed, I'd love to have them sit down here in this studio.
Same here.
And really talk to them. Pero, alam mo, like with any senatorial ball, I'm going to ask very tough questions that even yung mga controversial issues nila, I want to ask them because I myself as a voter have some of these questions. If they're willing to sit down, I'm more than happy to support them. Kasi even Kiko Pangilinan as a senator, I have my differences in opinion on some of the bills that he passed.
100%.
And here's the thing about the senatorial race. We were just talking about it with my friends. Sabi ko, alam mo, Richard, you can't blame the Filipino people for voting for mga sikat. o mga may pangalan o mga celebrities.
Yeah.
Kasi pag tinignan mo yung 66 candidates, think about it. Do you really have time to go over every credential of all of those people? So you first start with familiarity. Okay, so sino ba yung mga
Yun yung
pinaka-familiar?
base mo, baseline mo.
Kilala ko ba ito? Ito, hindi ko to kilala. I don't know who you are, nor would I care to spend the time to find out who you are. You have to push your case with me. How do you push the case? Do something. Become viral. Something that will make me go, sige na nga, titignan ko nga kung sino tong taong to. Otherwise, hindi mo titignan eh. And then you get a Willie Revillame who helps so many people when it comes to his TV show, giving out money. Eh, how can you blame them? Na mabait naman si Willie sa amin at nakikita ko na tumutulong, eh gusto ko siya iboto eh. So there's nothing wrong with that. So what I'm saying nga is, and people misconstrued what I said na parang, bakit daw ayoko daw sa mga Tulfo? I didn't say ayoko sa mga Tulfo. Ang sinasabi ko lang is, ang dami na nila doon. Yun lang, sana lang isang
Medyo
Tulfo.
tatlo is a bit...
Three.
I think Rafi is doing a great job alone. I mean, like... Sige na nga, Erwin, Rich Elrin.
Tapos Erwin pa, and now si Ben ba? Yung isa si Ben o si Ramon? Si Ben, right?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
So yun lang ang sa akin more than anything. So it's not to say
it's a bit
that
too much. Yeah.
I'm not calling them like hindi ko sabi mga botante ang tatangan nyo. No, it's not that. I understand why. Here's the thing. That's why I encourage Bam and Kiko. If they're gonna to make it to the top 12, man, make noise, do something.
Yeah.
Be viral, do something that'll make us not a stupid statement, make a statement like how the Dutertes do. That'll make people go, oh my God, did he say that?
Pero sabi mo, di ba, wag natin patulan yung mga ganyan. Then now you're saying, be viral.
Hindi.
Kailangan ba lang sabi ni Bam, sasapakin ko yung mukha niya. Amunin niya si Baste.
So wag naman sana in the form of violence or mga pag-iinsulto. Pero definitely they can come up with a statement that can make them come
Catchy,
out. Medyo kahit na nga medyo alanganin, just for people to talk to you, talk about you, whether it's against you or for you. Publicity is publicity, good or bad.
Yeah.
Just get your name out there.
Medyo risque. Ako, I just want to add one more thing to that. I agree with that. Ako, to be honest, sa tingin ko, hindi pa rin naintindihan ng tao ano ba talagang trabaho ng isang senador. In fact, I think Willie, when he was running himself, when he was asked, anong platform? Mamaya natin pag-usapan. Like, even the candidates don't seem to know. Ano ba yung trabaho ng, like, the idea that they have to fiscalize, they have to know the nitty-gritties of the Constitution, they have to check the budget, scrutinize the activities of the government. So I think, ang laki ng political education deficit natin. So, I mean, as a teacher myself, right, I feel responsible na nakakulang kami sa education system. So, in my own little ways, as a blogger, as a media practitioner, I just want to remind people, hindi po trabaho ng senador na magbibigay ng libreng pamahay o ayuda. Ang trabaho po ng senador is nasisiguraduhin niya hindi magkakaroon ng abuso sa GAA, call hearings. I would add another thing. I think, in fairness naman sa mga tao, nakita naman nila yung mga hearings after hearings after hearings. Ang problema is, walang nangyari afterwards. Yung Farmali hearings, for instance, where did it go?
Right.
And that's why, mahalaga yung Sara impeachment issue. Because if this also doesn't go anywhere, the whole function of the Congress, and here I mean it in a constitutional sense, upper house and lower house.
Right.
The whole function of Congress as a fiscalizer, as a checks and balance institution, will be questioned by the Filipino people. And essentially, Filipino people might only look at senators as the baby presidents na nagbibigay ng ayuda. Because congressmen are sometimes also treated that way. And I always say, bakit ka maging, parang, galit lang ba kayo sa corruption dahil walang ayuda dumating sa inyo? Parang, when I say, whenever you get free parang support from the office of the mayor, or for yung kasal, for birthday, ganon, sa tingin mo ba, kung hindi ito galing sa welfare budget, DSWD, saan galing yan?
Yeah.
Kung galing sa kanyang pocket yan, do you think taos puso yan? Do you think that, that's what I'm saying. So we are part of the culture of corruption.
Pare, alam mo, I went around Mandaluyong the other day to give out my flyers and everything. Nagpapakilala ko. Alam mo, I noticed several of my constituents in Mandaluyong, mga Mandaleños, ang unang sinabi sa akin was, wala ka bang pamerienda dyan? I was surprised. Talagang hindi ako makasagot. I was like, wala po eh. Pasensya. And I said to them, pasensya na po kasi hindi ako politiko, hindi ko po alam yung ganitong kalakaran. Ganito ba yun?
Yeah.
Oo, dapat may pamerienda ka. And then nung isa naman, nagtataka ko why everyone was asking for a flyer. Pagdaan ko, alam mo narinig nung isang volunteer ko kung bakit atat na atat makakuha ng flyer. Sabi nila, walang paipit. Dapat may nakaipit. Dapat alam na yun, may nakaipit. And I'm thinking, oh my God.
That whole subculture,
So I realized something. So I computed it. I said, 100,000 voters in Mandaluyong. Each one will get, say, paipit ng what?
100 pesos.
100 pesos.
Yeah.
That's already 10 million pesos. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, kung magbibigay ako ng 10 million pesos.
From your own pocket.
Oh, from my own pocket. Serbisyo ba talaga ang gagawin ko? Kaya ako tatakbo? At saan ko kukunin yan? Oh, so, yung corruption na nakikita natin na nag-uumpisa sa mga grassroots dahil na-normalize niya sa ating mga kababayan. Natingin nila harmless itong pagkukuha. Mayaman ka naman magiging kongresista ka naman o magiging councilor ka, magbigay ka naman. Pero yung paghingi mo niyan ay ang punot dulo ng pagkakaroon ng korupsyon at kaya nagiging korap ang mga binoboto natin. Kasi sinasabi ko sa inyo, itigil na natin tong paghihingi ng merienda. Dahil isipin mo, magkano merienda mo? What, 50 pesos, 100 pesos? Pero ang kapalit niyan ay ubos ang pera sa kaban ng bayan na pumupunta sa bulsa ng mga taong binoboto nyo dahil kailangan nilang bawiin itong binigay nila sa'yo na 10 million para sa merienda, para sa paipit. Yun yung nakikita kong problema na hindi nila
Or
naiintindihan.
what if pamirienda sila dun sa kurakot pero butuin nila yung malinis na katulad mo? Di ba yun yun? Bawal yan, by the way.
Hindi, pero, okay. I like that.
Off the record.
Yeah, I like what you said. Pero isipin mo yan. Kung tinanggap nila yan sa akin, tingin mo ba malinis ako?
Yun lang.
Kung tinanggap nila yan sa akin at may ganyan akong budget, ano ibig sabihin niya? Malinis ba talaga ako?
Yeah, exactly.
O papogi lang yan, window dressing.
ROI.
Kaya lang, mag-ROI din ako. Pagkakakitaan ko pa rin to. Yun ang kaalalahanin nyo. Kaya kung tanggapin nyo yung merienda na yan, isipin mo ang kapalit niyan. Ikaw nakakuha ka ng 50 pesos, 100 pesos. Sabihin na nga natin 1,000 pesos. Magkano yung nakuha nung pinanalo mong kandidato mo para sa 1,000 mo? Nakuha niya milyon ang kapalit nun. Kaya please lang, mag-isip-isip tayo na wag na tayo humihingi ng pang-merienda. At hindi ako magbibigay ng pang-merienda. Hindi ako magbibigay. At ngayon alam ko na sasabihin ko pag tinanong sa akin. Ate, pag binigyan kita ng pang-merienda mo, siguraduhin mo na, may kapalit yan. May kukunin ako mas malaki, babawiin ko yan. Ikaw may 100. For every 100 I give you, baka 1,000 makuha ko.
Buti merienda lang, hindi lechon. But I think this goes to the last part of our discussion for today. And we want to do more of this. I enjoyed it. That was great. I think we compressed a lot into like that 47 minutes, 49 seconds. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I want to talk about issues that are closer to us at the level of individuals. Now, speaking of lechon, speaking of food and healthy lifestyle, how do you keep fit, bro? Like, what is your routine? Do you have like intermittent fasting? Do you have like low carbs diet? Do you do regular exercise, marathoner? Let's talk about that, bro. Let's hindi naman lighten up kasi serious issue yan eh.
So I have a seafood diet. When I see food, I eat food.
Akala ko crustacean. Walang yan to.
But I like seafood.
So you
Pero,
don't see food. You don't see any food. Like, you avoid seeing food.
Hindi, pero the secret is for me, drink a lot of water, get 8 hours of sleep at the right time, and regular exercise. Yon, important yon. And when you eat in moderation. Kumbaga, like, make sure na may greens, may may fruits, may meat, may fish. It's good variety. Yun lang.
Are you following like a Cristiano Ronaldo kind of like there's a little bit of Mediterranean diet?
No, I
Hindi
don't.
naman ganun,
And stay away from processed foods. Kasi napansin ko, pag pumunta ka sa grocery, 80% of the food they sell is bad for you. Stick with the meat, vegetable, and fruit section. That's the 20%. Everything else in between, stay away from that. That's all processed food.
And ako kasi, conscious ako na siguro kung medyo privileged ka, you can go for the organic, you can go for the Wagyu. At kung ikaw ay isang ordinaryong Pilipino, how can you afford the right kind of food?
Okay. Pare,
yung advice natin.
Karne. Bili ka ng karne. Huwag kang bibili ng mga processed food. Mas mahal ang mga processed foods.
Actually,
A kilo of meat is a lot cheaper and it's a lot more nutritious. Fish. From mga mga galunggong or mga tilapia, ganun. Get the fish, buy the chicken. That's a lot cheaper. Buy vegetables, magulay ka. Tapos gisahin mo lang, prito lang, ganun lang yun.
And lower volume. Ako, for me, probably it's also a metabolic thing. For me, basta sa gabi, anything after 6 p.m. Cut the carbs as much as possible, bring it to zero. Because that really helps. At least in my metabolic cycle, napansin ko yan.
So isa pa, napansin ko na now that really works, and some people do it. I don't do it personally, but I know a lot of people that do it. Yung ketogenic, ketogenic
keto,
diet. I think it's keto diet. Oh, sorry, not keto. The other one. Basta yung intermittent fasting, IF.
Right.
So meaning you only eat for parang 8 hours in a day, or if you can do 6 hours in a day, that's it. Yun
You
yung window
compress
mo.
it, yeah.
Tapos na. So meaning you start at 8 a.m. for example, 10 a.m. for example. You're done eating by 5 p.m.
And that's it.
That's it. You can eat whatever you want, but just make sure it's between that and then you're done. I don't believe in cheat days.
No, cheat days don't work.
Yeah,
it ruins it, yeah.
For me, just eat what you want. Just be disciplined with it, and you'll never have a cheat day because you're enjoying everything you eat. Ganun lang yun.
Exactly.
I usually finish eating by mga 5 p.m. Like today, I had a big lunch.
Early food, yeah.
Yeah, I just had a big lunch. I'm done, and I might not eat na again.
Anymore, yeah. Maybe
So-
just a bit of a soup or just a vegetable or whatever.
If ever, yeah.
Or banana.
Or
just
I'll
it,
only eat if, say, maybe it's a social lang. I have to go out and I'll grab a
Yeah.
bite. Pero normally, I stop eating. The workout's important, pare. Kasi
The workouts, you know.
a lot of people disregard working out. And workout, when the people tell me na wala akong time mag-workout, I always tell them, pare, you live in, let's say, a condo, walk the stairs. 4 stories, I'll walk it.
Actually,
up or
you
down.
can just do burpees at
Sure.
the moment. Just,
And ano pala, 30 push-ups a day.
yes.
Every day.
But careful with shoulders because I used to have this 200 push-up a day kind of crazy
Oh, yeah.
loosely stuff. I injured one of my shoulders because I realized I was not 20s anymore, but I would just do it without. So please stretch well.
Yeah,
Kasi
and-
wala na akong stretching well. I would just go 200. And then next thing I know, my shoulder injuries
Yeah.
na ako. So please, especially kung medyo tumanda na kayo katulad namin, once you're not in 20s anymore, do your stretching. The stretching should be 5
Yes.
to 10 minutes at least. Take care of the stretching.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, man, to keep healthy. It's very simple. I don't, and plus hindi ako gumagamit ng mga maraming mga products. Whether it's, I don't take vitamins. I get the vitamins from the natural food, close to whole foods. Kasi we're so reliant on everything processed. Kaya nga I think there's a lot of cancer going on because we use a lot of processed stuff. Even from mga moisturizer, ganun. I don't use anything. I just use VCO.
Right.
That's it. VCO in the night, at night. VCO if you want to gargle with VCO.
Yeah.
VCO is a superfood.
Parang may endorsement naman. No, I mean, let's go back to this. Like, in terms of like your gym and cardio exercise, like, is it more like the weights, the running? Is like how do you combine that? What do you think is the best one? Because I think yours is the lean and mean one.
Yeah.
While some people probably want a little bit more of the biceps and chest,
Right.
but still lean pa rin. I think none of us want to be Bato de la Rosa sometimes. But I couldn't go back to Pebble. No, so yours is more like the really lean mean, di ba?
Yeah.
Mine is somewhere more like mid-range whereby I try to keep a bit big chest and arms.
Right.
But still, you want to, you make sure wala. So, I mean, this is a kuya advice, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your advice along those lines in terms of body types, strategies, ganyan?
Yeah. So I like to be functional.
Yeah.
Kasi I don't work out to be for aesthetics. I work out to be functional, to be physically
Fresh, dynamic.
strong talaga,
Yeah.
not aesthetically strong.
Right.
When I see people that just do weights but not enough cardio,
Right.
I think that's not good. Pero having a lot of muscles is a good thing because especially as you age, you lose muscle mass. So you need to keep that up. That's why I do mga pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, push-ups, but all body weight workouts, squats, burpees, yung mga ganon.
Yeah.
Kasi that's important. Pero the most important part is this, as we get older, yung puso natin. Kailangan malakas yung puso mo. Kasi that's the one that pumps blood throughout your entire body. And yung blood is oxygen-rich, which heals the body. That's the one that heals the body. If the blood is not flowing through every extremity, then you're getting weaker. Kaya nga pag mga diabetic or mahina yung puso, napansin mo hindi na pumupunta yung dugo sa dulo, sa may kamay, sa may pa, they get the tingling feeling kasi it's not flowing there anymore. And that's when you start to deteriorate. So you have to have a very strong heart. To have a strong heart, you need to work out that heart. That's why talaga for me, guys, you don't have any excuse to not go to the gym. When I say do not go to the gym, what I mean is you can walk every day. You can walk the stairs. You could, while working sometimes at home and I'm busy, I'll stop for 5 minutes lang. Do a set of push-ups or do squats and then go back to work. Yun. And then you have the energy for the entire day. Your quality of life is just so much better, man.
Yeah.
And plus ito pala, stress. Iwasan natin. Hindi naman iwasan ng stress. I-manage natin ang stress.
Sige, palitan na natin tong trabaho na to. Ay, hindi na tayo mag-political podcast. We're just gonna do lifestyle podcast. Well, for me, at least you have to cope with stress. Ang sasabihin ko lang on this is, parang pinapalis na yata tayo. Ang masasabi ko lang dito is, perfection is the enemy of the good, in a sense that don't go for that perfect day when you feel perfect about gym and you have the no. In fact, do it the more you don't want it until it becomes your habit. And you don't have to do it exact perfect way. It could be like intermittent exercise sometimes, like in the middle of writing. Because I'm primarily a writer. Like in the middle, pag may writer's block ka or something along, you're working through an idea. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 push-ups. I'm just gonna do... Yung mga palit-lit na yan, over time, you build certain good habits. Yun ang sinasabi ko. Don't go for perfection. Pare, I'll go to this best gym. Andyan yung mga... Alam mo yung gano'n? That's where you lose it. Kasi you'll be sexy for 3-6 months and then you're gonna give up and then next year, wala na, di ba? But kasi ikaw, you maintain this for years. I've seen you, bro. You don't go like that. You're just steady, bro.
So, ang difference kasi, it's not a goal. It's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yeah.
Yun. So, I don't do it, I'm trying to reach a goal of a weight goal or an aesthetics goal. I do it because I know it's what a healthy person does, a fit person does. So, if you have that mindset, you don't need to be motivated to work out. You have the discipline to work out. And honestly, with life, not just working out, discipline is more powerful than motivation. Yung sinasabi mo kanina, I'll work out when I feel like it. When I don't feel like it, I'm not motivated, then I won't do it. That's flimsy. Kasi that means you only work out when you feel like it. You'll only do something when you feel like it. But the real power is the discipline. Is when you do it. Whether you feel like it or not is irrelevant. I just have to do it. So there are days, pare, I'm so tired. I want to go home. I just want to sleep. And that's right. That was the day that I say, no. I cannot give in to yung nararamdaman ko. Kailangan ko gawin yung kailangan kong gawin. Regardless of how I feel. That's the day I go for my run. Kung ayoko na and I say I'd rather not do it, that's when I do it. That's what pushes you beyond being an emotional puppet. Kasi now your emotions are not your master na. You're the master of your emotions. Yun. Yun lang.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll have hopefully a separate episode on the whole Marcus Aurelius stoicism. No, and self-discipline, right? Kasi for me, ang sarap nung feeling na gutom ka matulog, knowing next day you're gonna wake up fresh and fresher version, a sexier version of yourself. And then you fall in love with that pain. With that pain of hunger. In the same way, you fall in love with the pain in your muscles, right? In the same way, you fall in love with the pain of exhaustion in your brain when you had a hard day of work, right? So I think one way is also to orient your mind to appreciate and embrace pain because that's the good kind of pain. That's a pain that you choose. You know, Stoicism is about voluntary poverty. The pain that you choose. When you can, when you learn how to choose the right pain, that's where you're a real man, in my opinion, right? So I just want to end on this note. Para exactly we're almost hitting the 1 hour note here. Pag-usapan natin itong Philmar phenomenon, right? No, because, okay, I'll be honest. Ang read ko is, you know, you have the whole AFAM angle there, and then you have, let's be honest, I think we do have a culture of inferiority complex or this idea that we need affirmation from the white people.
Okay.
Right? And then if you date like a white girl, literally a blonde girl, parang, whoa, pare, you made it. Kaya ngayon, lahat ng mga kaibigan natin na Pinoy na puti yung girlfriend or like blonde yung girlfriend, Philmar nang tawag namin sa kanila. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a real stuff.
Okay.
This is a real phenomenon. So, for me, what is a kind of a secure Filipino man in the 21st century, right? Na you don't need affirmation from other cultures or other women or even other men. Like, how to be a secure man without all of that third world constant need for affirmation from AFAM, blah, blah, blah.
Alam mo pare, for me, confidence comes from first having the discipline and the knowledge that you can commit to yourself. That's number one. When I say commit to yourself, alam mo, it feels good when you wake up in the morning and then you say, for example, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. today because I have a lot to do. And you wake up. Pare, that's already, I can do it.
Yeah.
That builds your confidence.
Right.
Alam mo, those micro events that you can commit to and fulfill, builds your confidence. So the more a person does that, it builds your self-confidence that you don't need validation from other people on who you are and what you're capable of. And yun ang important. And a lot of Filipinos kasi, unfortunately, nakakalimutan nila that the most important type of affirmation that you can get is from yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else. The more you look for external validation, the less secure you become.
And you're slave to that.
Yes.
External,
Oh, hahanapin mo yan eh. But the more you're able to validate your good qualities and your strengths by your own methods and by your own actions, you develop that confidence. And you get to a point where, ano yan eh, it's what a sigma male is eh. Yung wala ka nang pake what people think, and you walk in your own beat, and you don't really give a crap. And whether you're single or you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever you get, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you know who you are and what you're worth, and that exudes a lot of non-verbal confidence that people see.
Which makes you more attractive. I mean, I always say, since hopefully this is the beginning of a Pilipinas 360 degrees, we're going to talk about infrastructure, subway, agriculture, economics. I have the same principle when it comes to the dating world and all of this self-confidence. You build and they will come.
Yeah,
right?
you build and they will come. I
Right?
like
So
that.
if you build up yourself, right? You have all the right ingredients. You got your thing together.
Yeah.
Believe me or not, it helps you in the dating market. It helps you in your love life since malapit ng Valentine's. So yun ang principle ko. You build yourself and the rest will just come to you. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to chase affirmation. You don't have to chase yung mga afam na nag-aagaw ng girlfriend. You don't have to... Basta, you build yourself and the rest will follow. Yun lang masabi natin. Thank you very much, brother. That was a great way to get this conversation started. Next time, let's talk more about cryptocurrency. Medyo I lost a few thousand pesos. I was like, kanina bago interview si Christian, oh my God, no. So we're gonna talk about different types of cryptos. Kasi Bitcoin lang yung kilala, but there are like a million different versions. Meme coins, let's talk about them. Like, is cryptocurrency the way forward? How to be a crypto bro without being the annoying crypto bro thing. You know what I'm saying? The subculture. Kasi ikaw chill ka lang eh. Like, I see you from afar, I won't have a sense you're a crypto bro, right? But they're like people, like, they just do like buy one Bitcoin and then they like act as if, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we're gonna have to discuss a lot, and we'll discuss more because the election is about to start. Also about your campaign. Hopefully we can do kind of a documentary, so a day in the life of a crypto bro. No, I'm just kidding. A candidate for council. And of course, kudos to you, pare. Congratulations for being an inspiration for a lot of people. And I'll tell you what, this is not a shade at anyone else, but all I want to say is the fact that you chose to run for a relatively humble position is just a reflection of your sincerity. And it just shows that actually, no matter how humble the position, if you do it the right way, it will make the right impact and it will create a multiplier effect. So I won't be surprised that, God willing, once you're a counselor in Mandaluyong next year, ikaw magiging inspirasyon ng parang how to be you po. Right? And we saw it. Vico Soto started also as a counselor. And look at him. He's now a global sensation. So that's it. Build yourself and they will come. Salamat, brother.
All right,
Talk
man.
to you soon. Maraming salamat.
Good
Thank you very much,
podcast.
guys. And catch up soon. Marami tayong pag-usapan. Pilipinas, 360 degrees. So to get the ball rolling. But this was a kind of a more like also building up your muscles and all 360 degrees. Salamat.